Hello, friends. Today I was telling you my top 2 tips to win at horse racing. This is for trainers and people who are betting. Hi, I'm Dr. Renee Tucker, holistic equine veterinarian for over 30 years. Tip number 1. What's most important about horse racing? What do they mostly need to win? They need to be able to breathe. You may know this, but here's the key. People are always looking for, herbs or drugs or something to help with breathing. But really, horses' lungs are huge. I don't know if you know how big they are, but they're very large. So all we need to do is make sure they're able to expand 100%. Let's do a quick deep dive on this. Now, if you want to really get this, if you stand up, feet shoulder width apart, right? And then move all your weight to be centered over one leg. Don't bend over crooked. Stand up straight, but all your weight's over one leg. If you just hold this for 10 seconds, what you'll notice is that you're not breathing. You're breathing very shallowly, but try to take a deep breath with your weight centered over one leg. You can't. You can't take a full breath. If you come back to center with your weight perfectly over two legs, then you can take a really deep breath. Okay? That's key to know because that shows you the diaphragm is involved with balance. And the diaphragm is what enables the horse to fully enlarge their lungs. So if their diaphragm isn't working right, they can't get a full breath. Why wouldn't it be? Most commonly because the sternum is misaligned. The sternum is the base or the breastbone of the horse. The diaphragm attaches to it. How does it get misaligned? Very commonly when they're being trained. Well, if they fall over for sure, but if they're in the gate and they kind of get squished or smashed against one side or the other, it's possible their sternum just misaligns. How can that happen? Guys, horses don't have a clavicle. They do not have a collarbone like we do. So that barrel, the whole thoracic cavity or where the lungs are, goes back and forth, swinging between the two front legs every time they take a step. So that's kind of our clue that we can go for. So if you're a trainer or a bettor, watch the horse walk from the rear. So the horse is walking away from you and you're standing perfectly behind them. You want to see that barrel go right to left, equally distant. Okay. If you see a horse who's got a nice swing to the left and then only half a swing to the right and then way left and then that means it's only swinging to one side. It's misaligned in the sternum. If it's misaligned in the sternum, it's like when we were standing off to one side, you can't get a deep breath. So I don't care what the pedigree of the horse is and how fast he theoretically could be, if that sternum's misaligned, they can't get a full breath. Okay? Can't get a full breath, they fade. Trainers, if you got a horse that just fades at the end and you know they're trying, or you think, gosh, he's got the heart, but he just can't do it. Maybe he just can't get enough oxygen to his muscles because he can't breathe, because his diaphragm is stuck, if you will, because the sternum is misaligned. So that's fun. You can totally fix that. You can try to hire a chiropractor, or of course, I recommend my own technique, the Tucker BioKinetic Technique. It's an energy form of alignment. Meanwhile, you're probably here for tip number 2, which is also quite good. Let's do a deep dive on how do horses run, particularly with their front leg. With their front leg, everybody thinks, or they've thought, that the horse puts their legs forward and grabs onto the track and pulls it forward, kind of like a cheetah. But horses don't do that. In fact, it was the racing industry that did all these studies where they put electrodes in the muscles of the horse's front leg while the horse is running on a treadmill. They're trying to figure out, well, let's find out which muscles do what when so that we can choose the best shoe or whatever other reason they might want to use this. So, but they found out, guys, as soon as that front leg, that hoof hits the ground, all all the muscles in the front of the leg turn off. Yes, it doesn't quite make sense. Try to think of the horse more as a pole vaulter. So when they're running, they put that leg all the way forward and they put the leg on the ground. The front turns off. The back legs, the power is swooshing past the front leg, just like a pole vaulter. Then the leg turns back on and it picks it up to go for another cycle. Why do we care? Why would knowing about this make us win? Well, check the horse's shoulder muscling. If the horse's shoulder is misaligned, or in fact, any of the stay apparatus is misaligned, then this pole vaulter mechanism is not working as best it can. So what you want to look for is this: look from the side of the horse, look at the shoulder. The scapula is a pretty big bone, and it has what's called the spine of the scapula. It's in the middle. What you want is equally muscled scapula and muscles in front of the scapula spine and behind the scapula spine to be pretty even. If you have a horse who's over muscled in the front of the scapula, that seems good, powerful. However, you need them to be even. Now, you don't have to get a ruler out, okay? You can just look. You want it fairly symmetrical. Front of the spine muscles should be equivalent, more or less, to the behind the spine of the scapular muscles. If either one is obviously to the naked eye too big or too small, then you have muscle asymmetry in that shoulder. That's telling you right there that the stay apparatus is not correct and they won't be doing their pole vaulting mechanism correct. And also, this is a clue that if there's going to be a catastrophic breakdown, you'll see it in that shoulder before you find out later. So everybody, keep an eye on the shoulder, particularly the left shoulder, okay? We're going around to the left. We need that one to be very symmetrical. Okay, that's it. Look at the horse from behind. Make sure the barrel swings back and forth so the horse can breathe and get oxygen. And then make sure the shoulder muscle symmetry is about 50-50 in front and behind of the spine of the scapula. And then you'll be golden. All right, please give me a percentage of your winnings and I will talk to you later. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Thanks. Bye-bye.